soititte myrkytystietokeskukseen. Puhelumme tallennetaan laadunvarmistusta varten. Du har ringt till Giftinformationscentralen. Vi bandar alla samtal för att kunna säkerställa kvaliteten på vår service. Myrkytystietokeskus.
Terve, Putko, Englanti?
Joo, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to report what I believe is a poisoning, that I was poisoned in attempted murder. So I would like to go through the evidence.
Now, if you suspect that somebody's tried to
I will be reporting.
you need to
I will do
contact
that.
the police.
I will
You
do
need
that.
to contact the police.
I will do.
Okay.
I've already reported that, but I would like to
Yeah.
go. Like, if a poison expert is like, well, that can't possibly be poisoning. That's good to hear sooner than later. Like, I'm not an expert, so obviously these sorts of things should be considered by experts as quickly as possible, and then they come up with an.
Okay, can you tell me what's happened? How
Yes.
have you been poisoned?
Yes. So the you can ask whatever backstory you want of like why this is happening, but I will just start with the like events preceding and during the poisoning. Okay. Do you want my social number? Because there's a
No, I
Okay.
just like to. I
Okay.
agree. But
Yes,
how
yes.
we operate is that we give you advice whether you need to go to the doctor or not.
Okay. Well, this is
So,
this
do
this.
you know
this-
the substance that you've been
So this,
given, or how
no.
have you been poisoning?
Well, I will go. I'm just like whatever method you want to use is fine. I will follow it. I will explain the events, and then you make up your own mind of what to do, if anything. But for me, scientific questions like poison are determined by scientists. So I am checked into a mental hospital, a mental ward at Lahti, held for observation against my will, for suspicion or accusation or whatever you want to call it, something to observe, of suspicion of delusions of police harassment. Because I took a video of police like 4 days before, where the police officer tells me I have no right to a lawyer, which is obviously false. Like, why he would say that on video? Like, I was just trying to record that I wanted a lawyer right as soon as possible. Not why he would say I have no right to a lawyer and then try to convince me of that is a mystery. But for me, that's already police harassment, right? And then other events happen. He shows up, follows my girlfriend, like 30 kilometers away the next day, while I'm in Tampere because they extradite me to Tampere in a cell. So these are events that like make me fear police. Obviously, not a reason to do anything illegal, but it informs our decision to like go elsewhere than where we're being followed by police. Now, complicated events happen, which lead to being held under suspicion of illusions of police danger in a mental ward. Also, like fraud was committed, like because they one like the I see one doctor first, right, and then I see
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
the poisoning. So yeah. So this is
What
so this is why this is what yeah this
are
is
you suspecting?
yes. So in the morning, I'm not too worried because I can have my phone and my computer, and they can't keep me there very long, obviously, if I'm not dangerous. So I'm not really worried in the morning. And then after, and I'm trying to phone lawyers, like I'm just trying to contact lawyers and find someone who's interested in police saying I don't have a right to a lawyer. So I'm not worried. I go and have breakfast. And then symptoms start coming on, like on my way back from breakfast, dizziness, right? Disorientation. I couldn't find my room in the ward. Patients had to go get a nurse to bring me to my room. Tunnel vision. Then difficulty, like then I realize 2 material pieces of evidence. I wasn't tested for urine or blood before in my admission process into the ward. But like, you're going to hold a delusional person that you think is delusional, but you're not going to test them for drugs or anything, right? Then they left, the nurse who admitted me left me with 100 milliliters of antiseptic. Like, you're going to, and I'm like, well, you're going to leave someone you're claiming is potentially psychotic with a liquid you don't know what it is. And if it is antiseptic, you can easily replace it with the ward's supply of antiseptic. Obviously, the ward has antiseptic they could give me in a controlled amount. So now there's these two material pieces of evidence. One, the absence of any evidence before these symptoms started, and two, leaving me with liquid that I brought into the ward myself. And I told her to take it away because that's what I thought she would do. It's not like I'm trying to convince her to leave me a €2 bottle of antiseptic, right? So I then I'm like, now, am I being poisoned? Science is required to know that, but it's clearly enough worrying symptoms and worrying evidence to act on it. So I write poison control of the hospital and of Helsinki, and I write to the hospital. Obviously, I'm not going to report a potential poisoning to the staff that may have poisoned me, but I'll try to get help from outside the ward. No help comes. And then the heart palpitations. That's what worried me the most. I had just been through a lot of worrying and stressful situations with police. I didn't notice my heart one single moment. And now suddenly crazy strong heart palpitations, right? And like, and I'm like, I'm gonna die in like maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Like, I don't know if I'm poisoned. I don't know how long I have to live, right? So obviously these symptoms are enough to seek medical attention anyways, even if it is like a panic attack, or maybe I was poisoned by accident, some sort of a mishap in the kitchen or whatever, right? Like, obviously the cause is of the symptoms, right? That's open for debate. But what's not open for debate is somebody's crazy heart palpitations, in a panic, thinks he's being poisoned or could be being poisoned, seeking medical assistance of the hospital he's in, receiving no
I don't know. What do you want from us?
Well, review like are these? Then I want you to note. Yeah, I want you to note down the symptoms. Yes.
Can I say something without you interrupting? Is that
sure?
Possible?
Of course.
Yes. So this our Poison Information Center. What we do is we give advice for people who know what's happened. Like they've had too many tablets of something, and we give advice whether you need to seek the doctor. I don't know what you want from.
Well,
yeah. Story,
well,
I don't know when this has happened. But
yes, but the
nothing. I can't give you any advice.
Well, sure, but you can note it. You can note it down, the symptoms, and consider things. Now, when it comes to crime, right? No, there's a duty. There's a duty to respond. There's a duty to respond to crime. Yeah, no. There's a duty to. I'm recording this. Like, if you think this is good service, for the citizenry, then fine, hang up. But I'm recording this. I'm going to put it on YouTube in 10 minutes. So I want you to just listen to the symptoms, and then. It's crime, so you have a duty to respond to crime. Not like the crime triggers very different responsibility. Crime triggers. I'm reporting a potential poisoning to poison experts. Totally logical and sensible. Now, what all you have to do is note down the symptoms. All you have to do is note down the symptoms and then make a report.
There's nowhere that I'm going to report this.
Sure.
You don't understand how we function.
Well, I know you say you provide information. Like, you're contradicting what it says on your own website. So if you want to make shit up that contradicts what you say in your own website.
We give advice for citizens whether you need.
Well, I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist investigating my own poisoning. So that's what you're. Yeah. So I'm just asking information. Are these plausible symptoms of a poisoning? Of like a drug overdose or whatever.
Yes, as you said yourself, there are also possible symptoms of something else.
Okay. So, but you confirm this is a possible symptoms of a poisoning. That's all that's needed.
I can't say.
Well, then review the evidence and make some advice to a journalist. And then, because the there's a body like it feels like an ocean wave feeling if I try to move. I can't like I'm unable to write paragraphs. Then I'm unable to write sentences. Then numbness all over my body and especially in the face. And then like 3-4 hours later, it starts to get better. So then I'm less worried. It's like when it's getting worse, then it's like, well, how bad is it going to be? Then it starts to get better. So I'm like, okay, like I'm not going to die, I don't think. And then resolving into like an acute headache and then like a dull headache and all over like 3-4 hours. And then why I would not have died is because the coffee you take the coffee yourself, so it would be kind of impossible to poison me with the coffee. What you do get is the glasses on your personal tray, like your named tray, and the glasses I only drank the berry soup, right? Because I can drink water in the ward, so I didn't want anything watery, so I only drank the berry soup and I didn't eat anything. And then if there was poison in those glasses, right, fentanyl or whatever, then I would not have gotten the whole dose because it would not have mixed. Like it would have just the poison would have mostly stayed stuck to the glass in the berry soup. So this is so now like for me, and then no medical assistance, and then I've explained to 3 doctors these events. And that I think I was poisoned while still in the care of the hospital. 2 doctors while I'm still in the care of the hospital. Then the head of the ward, who's not a criminal, a doctor, well, I think her name was Laura. I'm not sure. Anyways, she then sent me to Tampere for independent review, and I explained the same thing to doctors in Tampere. And I'm like, well, for me, it's important for my health if it's not poisoning to rule that out because like I've never had this sort of panic attack before Right, so if I'm susceptible to it, like that's relevant to my health, and if there's an attempted murder, well, that's relevant to a lot more than just my health, and then they don't want any for it, and I'm like, I don't know, like you're a like you can't tell me I wasn't poisoned, shouldn't there be tests or something? And again, no tests before. They don't want to test me after. No forensics of any kind of somebody with this story. I met 6 psychiatrists. If you're like, oh, well, you were in a mental ward, you must be crazy. Well, I met 6 psychiatrists in 6 days. None of them diagnosed me with anything. I wasn't prescribed anything. I wasn't even told to like meditate and try to calm down. So because I'm a calm person, I ran a corporation for like 10 years in management for 20 years, and you deal with a lot of high stress, low sleep situations. Like get off a plane and then like 2 hours later got a negotiated deal that like the whole company depends on. So anyway, so these are the symptoms. And if you're like, if your like information center provides me the information that this doesn't sound like a poisoning, because I'm not a scientist. If an actual scientist that I think is impartial phones me and is like, look, this is classic panic attack. And of course, once I think like, okay, I could be poisoned, right? The threshold to act is not like solving the case. It's just like, it's not a big cost to seek medical assistance to medical symptoms, right? So once I'm like, okay, I got to act on this, whatever's happening, I got to act on this, then, obviously that can easily spiral a panic, because now you're like, well, how long, the next thought is like, how long do I have to act if I have to act on this? Maybe I'm going to be paralyzed in 30 seconds. I have no idea how poisons work.
You're not going to get the answer you want.
Sure, but you're informed, and just a minute.
I'm trying to tell you that
That's fine. No, I've listened. No, I've listened. I've understood.
Your symptoms,
yes.
You need to see the doctor.
I've seen 6 doctors. I've seen 6 doctors. 3 of them.
Yes.
3 of them after the poisoning.
Nothing you can get from here.
Well, I'm gonna say one last thing. I'm gonna say one last thing, and then I can hang up. I have a lot of corporate experience. So even if you don't do anything, you might talk about it, and then this did sound like a poisoning, and then maybe you're a good person, so you don't want citizens to be poisoned in psychiatry wards and so on. So even if you don't do anything official, you might do unofficial things that puts pressure on the system to be like, oh, we got to clean up this mess.
You're not listening to me. We don't do that. We don't.
No, yeah. I'm saying, I mean, in your own little life. Yeah, no, but around the dinner table at a bar or whatever with your colleagues, right? The society does not function only on super formal official processes right, that are written down in some fucking procedural thing. Okay, so even if you don't do anything, official, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I've said my piece. I've recorded it. I've reported to the Poison Information Center that I think I've been poisoned. You provide no advice. It's clear.
Can you tell me where are you ringing from? Which city?
Well, just take my ID.
No, I don't want your ID. I just need to take for statistics the place you are calling from. Which city? Are you
okay.
calling from
Well,
Lahti or Helsinki or Tampere?
well,
where are you
close by to Lahti.
Lahti.
Lahti region.
All right. Good.
That's
Thank
fine.
you.
If you have any questions, like I've said my piece. So if it's over, it's over. If you have questions, or feel free to ask.
No, that's all right. I've written down your symptoms. What you wanted to.
Okay.
Tell me,
And like, would it be normal? Would it be normal for poison control to not respond? Because like they say, I'm a potential delusional psychotic. What if I poisoned myself to frame this staff in a delusional psychosis that can't possibly work? But I am still definitely poisoned, right? Like, is it normal for poison control not to respond to a report of poisoning? Thank you.
If you have the symptoms that you prescribed, you
Yes.
said the symptoms you had, or if you suspect that you've been poisoned, then our advice then is to seek the doctor.
Which I did. I talked to three of them. None of them could explain why I wasn't tested. And the nurse, just a minute. The nurse. When I am eventually for Sunday not tested forensically, but blood tested because I was never blood tested, just like the basic fucking blood test. And the nurse just walks into my room, and because he's like new, it's Monday, he doesn't know anything about the situation. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have a blood test this afternoon. Usually it's done when you're admitted. I don't know why it hasn't been done until now, but well, now we got to take care of it and like basic shit about the liver and so on. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, super. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Okay.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.